Hello and welcome, my ibby shibbies. Thanks for choosing the Warehouse. And we are here doing a review of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 4, Episode 3, The Snatch Game of Love. So Pheromone is eliminated, and the girls come back into the workroom after the elimination, and we find out that Monet also has Farrah's lipstick. And then Valentina goes on to explain that Pheromone was pretty much not consistent, and that's why she chose her. Monet pretty much said the same thing, which everybody was thinking. They just said it. And then Valentina starts to wipe the lipstick message off, and she goes, "I'm Mexican, but I don't even know how to clean." I thought that was so funny. She was poking fun at herself, and it was really funny. So when they start to drag, Monet and Trinity kind of get into it a little bit. I don't know if that was for fun banter, but the editing kind of made it seem like it was some shade. And Trinity saying, "I have taste, go get yourself some," because of her outfits. Because Monet wasn't having Trinity coming for her. Anyway, so it's next day in the workroom, and the she-mail comes on. Ru leaves her cryptic little message, and then Rupaul walks into the workroom and then says, "We are gonna do Snatch Game." Little bit of a twist. It's like Snatch Game meets Blind Date. We'll talk about it. Then Rupaul explains that they are going to do 2 panels of 4 with 2 celebrity guest judges, and they have to pretty much do Snatch Game, but in the Blind Date format. The girls are getting ready in the workroom, and they're discussing who they're gonna be doing for Snatch Game, and they're going around pretty much telling everybody who they're gonna do. And then Valentina asks Gia who she's gonna do for the Snatch Game, and she says Caitlyn Jenner. And Valentina's like, "Really? Because I think that's also what Trinity's doing." So then they get into a little bit of beef, and Trinity's pretty much like, "This is the winner already. I have my dress ready. I have my wig out. It's already a winner." So then Latrice just, steps in and delegates pretty much and says, "All right, well, you two do your Caitlyn Jenners." So Gia does hers, Trinity does hers, and Latrice pretty much like, "Okay, well, do you have a backup?" Because obviously Trinity's was funnier. And Gia's like, "No, I feel like I should do Caitlyn Jenner because she's trans, and I should do trans. I will be doing an I Needs to Vent video about Gia Gunn, because we need to talk about Miss Gia Gunn. There's too much to talk about." So they have their beef, and then Monique was all like, "And cut to commercial now." And they do. So they come back from commercial, and now it's the Snatch Game. And RuPaul introduces our guest celebrity looking for love, Olympian Gus Kenworthy. He was pretty sexy. Anyways, so first up on the panel was Monet as Whitney, Naomi as Wendy Williams, Trinity as Caitlyn Jenner, and Valentina as Eartha Kitt. Now, I'm not really going to get in to what they all said or did or point out any jokes, because it'll take up way too much time. There were a few jokes here and there that I thought were funny. Monet was for me as Whitney, because I'm like, why are you calling for your husband and also on a dating show? I didn't understand that. Bobby! That didn't make sense to me. And then Naomi Smalls as Wendy Williams was pretty funny. That unexpected feint at the end was, well, I kind of saw it coming actually. That was funny. And Trinity as Caitlyn Jenner obviously stole the show. She was super funny. Almost everything that came out of her mouth was hysterical. Every cut-in, every interaction with another contender was super funny. She was on point. She's definitely a comedy queen. She should label herself as a comedy queen now. Anyways, and then Valentina as Eartha Kitt. Now you can tell that she did a lot of research for her character. Like Ross said, However, it was kind of like she over-researched, I believe. It was like she was in her head. Now, the reason for that and upcoming performances is because I believe they weren't expecting this twist to be a mashup of Snatch Game and Blind Date. So it was a little bit of a different format with different, they had to think on their feet because it was a love connection rather than a Snatch Game, which is just purely jokes. They had to incorporate wanting to date somebody, playing a character, and being funny at the same time. And I thought a lot of them thought it was going to be a regular Snatch Game and kind of brought those jokes for regular Snatch Game. It's like they were almost intimidated and were like, I'm just going to keep to my jokes that I know. Overall look was great. She had the makeup and the look down for sure. Trinity was picked by Gus Kenworthy as Caitlyn Jenner, and it was so funny. He leans in for a hug. She's like, don't touch me. And then RuPaul introduces the next celebrity looking for love, Keenan Lonsdale. Kid Flash from The Flash. Wally. I love that show, and he's great. He's a little cutie pie. So, on this panel of 4, we had Monique as Tiffany Haddish, Manila Luzon as Barbara Streisand, Gia Gunn as Jenny Bowie, which is Cardi B's nail stylist and apparently famous on Instagram, and Latrice Royale as Della Reese. Now, Monique as Tiffany Haddish was pretty funny. I thought she did a pretty good job with Tiffany Haddish because they kind of almost have the same personality, so it was easier to kind of be herself as well as trying to make the character funny. So she did a good job, I thought. Manila Barbara. Oh my gosh, that was fucking hysterical. She had the nose. She kind of had like the eye gestures down a little bit. She was really playing the caricature, you know, not a character, caricature. She was in there, she served, she delivered. Her jokes were fucking hilarious. She interacted with everybody well. She interacted with Keenan very well. She interacted with Rue very well and deserved the win. Spoiler alert. Gia Gunn as Jenny Bowie. I'm not really gonna say much. It was a disaster. Her jokes came off very offensive, personal. She pretty much steamrolled everybody. And that leads me to give a to Latrice's performance as Miss Della Reese, which I can understand. And Latrice was all like, I'm here. I'm gonna have fun with this Snatch Game because my Snatch Game was a fucking disaster in my season. And it was. So I want to have fucking fun on this one. And she was starting out to have fun until Gia started steamrolling everybody. And then making like almost insults. Bringing up weight and like sexual preference almost. Because she kept saying that they were men. Now, again, we're going to talk about Gia in a different video. Grinds my gears. And Latrice was done because she had the fucking romper room fuckery all over again, and she was not having it. She kind of got out of character and was all like, look, I'm done pretty much. She even was all like at one point, can someone come get this little girl off set, please? Can someone come get her? And then at one point she was also like, yo, where are we? What is going on? Like, Latrice was not having it with that fucking buffoonery at all. Anyway, Keenan picks Barbara, and that joke to Keenan was so fucking funny when she says, well, I know what me and Josh Brolin are doing tonight. Oh my gosh. That just like, I think topped her win, you know what I mean? That was like cherry on the cake. Now, my thoughts on the Snatch Game were I didn't really care for the meshing of the two, but the more I watched it, I'm like, okay, I think this can grow on me. I loved how they showed more airtime for jokes, because sometimes they'll only show the good or the bad jokes. They don't really show what's in between when they're all on the panel together. So I really thought this format, they were able to focus on really them being individual, them having to just rely on themselves in a very vulnerable moment, and, you know, trying to find romance. So then it's the next day, which is elimination day, and they're going around congratulating each other on who did well. They're all, thank you, you did well, thank you, you're welcome. And then everybody pretty much in different groups were like, hey, Gia's going home. Gia is going home. And they kept showing, like in the confessionals, that the other panel were watching the other panel do the snatch game / blind date. And they didn't make that clear that the other panel was watching the other panel, because they obviously all knew who were weak and who was strong. So they obviously watched. That was not clear to the audience. Anyways, Virgo thing detail. Because long story short, everybody knows Gia's gonna be in the bottom. So everybody is like, who else is gonna be in the bottom? And Manila is starting this narration of, well, I don't know who's gonna be in the bottom, but I think a strong contender is going to be in the bottom, like Valentina, etc. And she's like, hey, I'm possibly okay with taking out a strong contender. I understand. I would do the same thing if I were in their shoes. We'll talk about it. So they're very iffy on who else is going to be in the bottom alongside Gia. Gia kind of knows that she's going to be in the bottom. So they're getting ready for the runway, and we get this little cute story about Latrice and how she's going to be getting married. So there's this little side story of her religious experience, of her thinking she'll never find love, and which I think every gay person can relate to. I know straight people will be watching this too, think that we are damned to hell. So that's very relatable. So she thought she could never find love because she didn't want to go to hell. Long story short, really found how to accept herself. Then she found love, and she's going to get married, and she's super excited. So congratulations on that. We love you. So in that story, they were asking Latrice if she's ever been with women. I forgot her answer because Manila was saying, well, I dated women in high school, but they were kind of like my muse. You know, I would like dress them up, and then they were like, did you sleep with them? She's like, yeah. So they were all shocked that a little bit, that, you know, they were all a little gagged about that. And then out of fucking nowhere, Monet's all like, do you feel like we're not alone on this planet? Like, do you think there might be alien drag queens among us? And everybody's looking at her like, and I thought it before Manila said it. I'm like, girl, what are you smoking? I'm like, damn, that must be some good fucking indica. Pass it this way. Sharing is caring, Monet. Fuck. Anyway, so that was a fun little cute side what the fuck story. And Manila was all like, what are you smoking? Because you need to pass it over here. So yeah, that was cute. And she's all like, you know, sometimes you see like weird shadows in the corners and stuff. Maybe those are some aliens that are amongst us. And Monique was all like, oh no, you're seeing demons. You need Jesus. That was funny. And then Rue walks out on the runway, and she is wearing this really cute outfit that's like ice skating / clown realness, giving us finally something different, showing us some legs, and she should be showing us some legs more often. In fact, Rupaul needs to have a song or something of the sort with legs and feature Naomi, and they need to like collaborate and just like feature their legs, like, you know, those videos that flash like this. It needs to happen. You're welcome for the idea. So she introduces the judges. Michelle Visage, Ross Matthews, Gus Kenworth, and Keenan Lonsdale. So then the runway starts and category is Boots the House Down. Boots the House Down. Boots the House Down. Boots the House Down. That needs to be a song too, actually. So I will be doing the Goob It New video in a different video, so we will skip this part of the segment. Back on the runway after commercial, they're all standing there ready for critiques, and RuPaul calls up Monet and Monique, and we find out that they're safe. So then they reveal that the top 3 are Manila Luzon, Trinity Taylor, and Naomi Smalls. And then they reveal that the bottom 3 are Gia Gunn, Valentina, and Latrice Royale. So they start judging everybody, and for the most part, they weren't that wrong about the judgment of everybody in the snatch game, on the runway, and everybody kind of deserved where they needed to be. And they had a problem with, which I did, and I'm sure a lot of people did, Naomi's boots, which were just gladiator sandals that were pretty much thigh high, knee high. Those weren't really boots. So I think she should have not even been in the top, and then Monique should have been in the top, because those weren't boots. But she was an awesome Wendy Williams. Of course, they gagged over Trinity and Manila. Then they get to the bottom 3. They said what I said, that she did a lot of research for her character. But again, Ross kind of threw that out the window. And I don't really have to explain much. Again, they said, in layman's terms, she pretty much overstudied. Because they did say you have the look down of Eartha Kitt, so. They kind of point out to Gia, steamrolled a little bit, and it was a little bit inappropriate. I have to point out that those were not boots either. She was in the bottom. Those weren't boots. Good choice about being in the bottom. They were just like sock heels. And those aren't boots. Those are not boots. So they get to Latrice, and they do explain to her that you're a controlled professional on any stage. And this is one of the biggest stages you've ever been on. What the heck? And Latrice pretty much said what we were all thinking, what everybody saw, what everybody was pretty much saying in their confessionals, that Gia was steamrolling. And Latrice pointed out that Gia was saying, you know, size jokes and other jokes that didn't seem jokes, like we thought, insults. They seemed more like insults, so she started taking it personally. So then they deliberate, and we find out that Naomi and Latrice Royale are safe. So when they come back to the workroom, Trinity immediately grabs Manila and was all like, hey, who are you gonna vote for? Because of the previous narration of, oh, I possibly might knock out a strong contender. And Manila's like, I still don't know. We have an opportunity to take out a strong contender. Now here's my thoughts on this, because I said we'll talk about it, and now we're gonna talk about it. I don't know if people will view the queens bad in the public eye if they do eliminate a strong queen when they're in the bottom up against a weak queen. I don't know how the judges will take that. However, it is acceptable on most other reality shows for them to kick off a strong person like Survivor and Big Brother. I'm a little confused onto why they aren't knocking out the strongest contenders. I don't know, tell me what you think in the comments below. Would you knock out a strong contender? I would most definitely knock out a strong contender, because at the end of the day, it's all-stars. We all came here. In my mind, I'm gonna go to have fun. That's what I would be on the show for anyways. I want to have fun. I want to have the experience, you know, and I just want to just live life and have kind of like Miss Jasmine Masters. So I would have fun with it, you know, and at the end of the day, I would just be like, look, we're all sisters, but I'm here to play a game. Let's play it. Enough of that. But Manila also was saying, well, maybe if we throw Gia a saving grace. So they're they're talking it out, and it was cute when Valentina was being a little pageanty. I've never been in a pageant, but I'm Miss Valenzuela in my mind, bitch. That was cute. So the girls talk it out, and Trinity is pretty much hell-bent on sending Gia home. Manila talks to Gia, and Gia is pretty much saying that she realizes that she's sorry for everything that she was doing in the competition. She didn't realize how her as a person now, being a woman now, a trans woman now, would be in the competition, and it might be affecting her. I don't know. It kind of seemed like a narrative to possibly play a victim. And again, I don't know if that's just editing, and she knew she was gonna go home, and she kind of felt bad for all the shit pot that she was stirring, because she does reveal that at the end of the episode. Well, I don't know if she reveals it. She kind of seemed more proud of it. So we have that whole thing, and I'm just gonna call shenanigans on most of it. I do think a little bit was genuine, but again, we're gonna talk about that in another video. So then Manila is talking to Valentina and was saying, hey, you're a strong competitor. If I throw you a bone, will you throw me a bone? And Valentina was all like, I don't think that's fair of you to ask me, because I would never ask you that question. And I do think that was a very pageant-like answer, and I loved that answer. So then they show the guest judges, Gus and Keenan, wrestling it out in these cute wrestling outfits, and their thumb wrestling, and they both looked really cute, and whew, I was like, I want to get up there and wrestle. And then they come back to the workroom, and both Trinity and Manila have changed into different outfits to lip sync. They walk up to their boxes, choose their lip sync. Trinity was all like, I'm sending Gia home. So we have this whole narrative of, well, fuck. Manila might send Valentina home because she's saying she might kick out a strong contender. What? So they both change. They both look great. You know, Manila looks like a young 80s Whitney Houston / Madonna type. You know, very relevant to the song and very relevant to the artist. Now, I kind of saw that fucking Trinity might have been throwing a little bit of shade at Manila because she was wearing clothes that were awfully similar to Manila. Now, I don't know if that was like, hey, I'm better than Manila, here I am, because she was standing there, lips to the judges the whole time, which is good, but you did that last time, so that gag is over. Meanwhile, Manila's over here prancing around the stage, like the cameras are on her, action, filming her for a fucking music video. That's what she was serving me. She was serving me, I'm shooting a music video realness right now. So yeah, it was a little bit more entertaining, but Trinity did do a good job in the lip sync. And, you know, it could have gone either way for me. But I was nervous because I was like, oh shit, I don't want Valentina to go home. So I was like, oh, I don't want Manila to win. I mean, I do want her to win, but I don't because I want Valentina to stay. Spoiler alert, she does. So it wraps up and RuPaul says, Manila, you're a winner, baby. And I said, oh shit, is Valentina going home? And then she takes the lipstick out of her titty after making it kind of sound like she's sending Valentina home, and it's Gia Gunn. RuPaul says, you'll always be an all-star. Gia Gunn walks off the stage, kind of head held high in my mind. So she's standing there with her trophy, and she's kind of coming off as sorry, but her tone, it didn't read that way. I mean, to me. Maybe because the pressure was off of her from being eliminated and getting off her chest what she needed to get off her chest, saying, I don't know how being trans woman was going to be in this competition. So maybe all that off her shoulders. She really was sorry. Again, we're going to be talking about this in another video. So That was RuPaul's Drag Race, episode 3, Snatch Game of Love. None of the queens did what I thought they predicted, which there's a video for that if you have not already watched. Not disappointed though, but it was fun to do predictions anyways. Thank you for choosing the Warehouse. Thank you for joining me, your Android Queen 1014. Please let me know what you thought about this episode and about Gia Gunn down below in the comments, please, because I would like to know. Please also subscribe. I would totally appreciate it. Bundles! And thanks again. Thank you guys so much. Until next week, guys.